Welcome, I'm Mr. Ayman Aref. Today we will talking about trigonometry. We will talking about trigonometric ratios and angles of elevation and depression. We will solve lots of different questions. First of all, here we have like the first question: find the side length x in each triangle, which is we have triangle A and B. Here we need to find out the length of x, okay? Based on trigonometric ratios, we have three rules, which is so, ka, tua. Then we will use them to find out the right answer. Okay. Let's think about this one. Let's think about it. First of all, we need to find out the measure or the size for this angle. Okay, this is easy, really. We will use it like that: 180 minus the summation of 71 and 41. 71 and 44. I'm sorry about that. I told you I will solve this question like student. Then kindly focus with me. Then to find this angle, 180 minus 71 plus 44. 71 plus 44 will be 115. Then 180 minus 115, it will be 65. Then this angle will be 65 degrees. After that, I will draw this perpendicular line, okay, to form a right angle. After that, depends on what? On the sine rule. Yes, depends on the sine rule. We can calculate the value or the length for this side, which is, for example, I will call it like AB, this side AB. Then to find the length of AB, we will use this rule, which is sine 65 equals what? Equals AB, the length of AB, which is the opposite over the hypotenuse, which is divided by 12. And after that, AB equals what? AB equals 12 times sine 65. Okay. Then 12 times sine 65 equal 10.9 equals 10.9. Then now I know the side or the length for this side, which is 10.9 millimeter. Then the relation between the opposite and the hypotenuse, I can use a sine rule again, which is sine 44. Sine 44 equals x, which is the opposite over what? Over, I'm sorry about that, not x. The opposite for this angle will be 10 and 9. 10 and 9 over x. Then to find the value of x, x will be equals 10.9 over sine 44. Then 10.9 divided by sine 44 equals 15.7, equals 15.7. Okay, then this is the first triangle or the first example. Here we understand it like the final result will be 15.7 millimeter. In the first example, we used sine rule, which is so, like sine equals the opposite over hypotenuse. This is the first example. Okay. What about the second example? The same idea, really the same idea. Here, we can divide this triangle into two parts, and we can draw a line segment or perpendicular line. We can call it, for example, AB, again, AB. And we can calculate the measure or the size of this angle. Will be like that, 180 minus 101 plus 50. Then it will be 180 minus 151. And the answer will be 29. The answer will be 29. 29 degree. Then the size for this angle will be 29 degree. Okay, now I have this angle. I need to find out the opposite, the value of the opposite, which is AB, the length of AB, to determine the length of X. Now we have the same idea, which is the opposite and the linking between. We will use the rule linking between the opposite, which is sine, opposite and hypotenuse, right? Then sine 29 equals AB over 23. And from this one, AB equals 23 times sine 29. Then 23 times sine 29 will be 11.2 millimeter. 11.2 millimeter. Then after that, I can do another thing, which is what? Which is we can determine the value of X based on what? Here I have this angle, which is 50, and the opposite side equals 11.2, and the hypotenuse equal X. Then we need to determine the value of X by using sine rule again, one time, then sine 50 equals the opposite, which is 11.2 over X. Then X equals 11.2 over sine 50. Then 11.2 divided by sine 50 equals 15 millimeter, approximately 15 millimeter, right? Then 15 millimeter. Then X here equals 15 millimeter. We used the sine rule for trigonometric ratios. We used it to find this length. Okay, now we will move on to solve question 2. Here, question 2, we have to find the angle theta. And here we need to find the distance m in the diagram. For question 2, the first part, which is find the angle theta, we will think about it. We will take our time to think about it. How can we find the value of angle theta? We need to find at least what? The adjacent and the value of the opposite. We have the value of the opposite. We need to determine the length of this part, which is from, for example, from point A to B, from point A to B. And here C. Then we need to determine the value of CA, the length of CA, based on what? We have two things, which is the angle 58 and the side who's opposite to this angle, which is 12.4. Then the rule linking between the opposite and the adjacent, which is tan or tangent. Then TOA, by using tan equal opposite over adjacent, we can solve it. Like here, tan what? Tan 58 equals the opposite, which is 12.4 over CA. Then after that, CA equals what? Equals 12.4 over tan 58 to determine the length of this side, which is CA, which is 12.4 divided by tan 58 equals 7.7. Then the length of CA equals 7.7. Then to find out the length of AB, here, let me write it. So this one called what? Called 7.7. Yes, 7.7. Then to find the length of AB, it will be like that. The length of AB equals 20.6, which is the length of CB, minus the length of CA, which is 7.7, equals then 20.6 minus 7.7 will be 12.9. This part will be 12.9. Okay. Then after getting these two things, we can use what? We can use tan again. Then tan theta equals the opposite 12.4 over what? Over 12.9 this time. 12.9, not 20.6. Then 12.4 divided by 12.9 will be 0.96. Then we need to find theta, which is the angle theta. Then theta equal the inverse tan of what? Of 0.96, which is equals 0.96. 43.8 degree, and that's to the nearest three significant figure, which is 43.8 degree. Then the angle theta equals what? Equals 43.8 degree. This is about this question. Let's move on to the next one. Here in this question, we need to find what? To find the distance m, the distance m in the diagram. Okay, let's think about that. I think it's so easy. I'm sorry about that. I think it's so easy, inshallah, it will be so easy. Then here I have the length of the hypotenuse for this triangle, which is the first triangle here, and we have an angle. Then we need to find the adjacent here, which is from A to B, for example. If we have this triangle called what? A, B, C. Then we need to find AB and make it times 2 to find the measure of M. Then to find AB, we need to use what? Cosine. We need to use cosine rule, which is cosine rule equals what? Equals the adjacent over hypotenuse. And we need to find out the value of AB. We can use this rule, which is cosine 30 degree equals adjacent, which is AB, the length of AB, over 3. Then after that, AB equals 3 times cosine 30. Okay, let's see the answer for that, which is 3 times cosine 30. It will be 2.6 to the nearest tenth. Then it will be what? It will be 2.6 centimeter, 2.6 centimeter. Then to find the length of, for example, dB, which is m equals what? M equals 2 times AB. Because we know this is a rhombus and this is called a diagonal, and this part equal to this part. Because of that, 2 times AB equals what? Then 2 times 2.6. 2 times 2.6 equals 5.2 centimeter. 5.2 centimeter. And this is the answer for this question. About the next question. Okay, I like this question. Here, Gina is flying a kite that makes a 50-degree angle with the ground. Then we have a ground here. Okay, we have a ground here, for example. And Dina, or Gina, yeah, is flying a kite that makes a 50-degree angle with the ground. Determine how high the kite is above the ground when she has let out 150 meter of string. Then here we can draw this right angle triangle, and we know the length of the string, which is 150 meter, and we know the angle, 150 meter, and we know the angle, which is 50 degree, and we need to find the height. We need to find or determine how high the kite is above the ground. For example, this triangle LKM, we know the length of LK, which is the string of the kite, which is 150 meter, and we know the angle. Then we need to use to find out what? KM, the length of KM, which is the opposite for this angle, the opposite. Then we need to find the opposite, and we have hypotenuse. Which rule will connect and link between Km, which is the opposite, and the hypotenuse, which is sine equals opposite over hypotenuse, which is Km over 150. And this sine, which is sine 50, right? Then to find out Km equals what? The length of Km equals 150 times sine 50. And this is really so easy. I like this question, by the way. This one will be 150 times sine 50, which is 100 for 115 or 114.9 meter. Then the height will be 114.9 meter from the ground. And this is the final answer for this question. Okay, let's find out the next question, the answer for the next question. This is the last question. To a person standing 130 meters away from the base of a building. Again, to a person standing 130 meters away from the base of a building, then I will consider that this is a building. Okay, this is my building here. Sorry about that. I think it's really not close to be a building. Then the distance between the base and this person is 130 meters. from the base. Determine the angle of elevation of the top of a building that is 58 meter height. Then we need to know the angle of elevation, not depression, okay, of the top of a building that is 58 meter high. Then we all know two things, which is the distance between this person and the building, or the base of the building, which is 130 meter, right? And we know the height, which is 58 meter. And we need to find out the angle of elevation. Okay, here we have the opposite and adjacent. Which rule will link between the opposite and what? And the adjacent, which is tua, which is tangent, or tan theta. Tan theta equal 58 over 130. Then 58 divided by 130 equals 0.45. Then tan theta equals 0.45. After that, the angle theta equals the inverse tan 0.45. Sorry about that. The inverse tan of 0.45, which is what? Which is 24 degree. Then theta equal 24 degree. And explain the limitations on the accuracy of your answer. It depends on the accuracy of measurement and the height of the person. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, kindly leave them in the comments below. Thank you.